channel. This is another monthly reading wrap-up / review type thing. So this month is July, so this is all the books I've read in July. I've read 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yeah, I've read 6. It's probably going to be 7 by the actual end of the month because I'm currently reading this, but I haven't got finished it all yet by the time I'm filming, so it's not going to be included in this one. But yeah, so let's just get into it. If you've seen my previous video, you'll see that I rank the books in the order that I've liked them the most. So this month's top book is Any Way the Wind Blows by Rainbow Rowell. It is only came out this month. I pre-ordered it, signed, Waterstone signed edition. It is the last book in the Simon Snow trilogy, so I can't really tell you much about it because it is like the last in a trilogy and you need to read the first 2 to understand everything. But it basically just ties everything together as what's happened in the previous 2 books, and like it has a nice wee ending for everyone, and just ties it all together, and you just get an idea where everyone's head's at, where they're at in their stage of their life, how the magical world is and everything. It's like a fantasy romance book. So because I can't tell you much about it, we're just going to sit and look at it because it's really pretty. So it's a hardcover, we can see, okay, and then it's also got the painted edges, and the painted edges match his shirt, okay. There's so much thought goes into these books. And then when we take this cover off, it's this on the inside, the plain cover. Isn't it so pretty? And then we have this as one of the end papers. And this is the last end paper, so it's like all of the characters. So it is, she's a new character. All the rest of them are all in all of the other books. Well, Shepherd only comes into the second one, but that's understand. These are the 2 main characters, Simon and Baz. This gets explained in the first book why he has massive dragon wings. That's a whole thing to unpack. And then I absolutely love these books. I love them so much. So yeah, these are the other 2. Carry On and Wayward Son. I recommend all of them. But yeah, I can't really say much about it. But I just love it so much, and it's so pretty. So pretty. So pretty. It's an absolute junk as well. But yeah, this is my top book month. Can't even say much about it. But go read it because they're amazing. And I love Simon and Baz so much. Okay, so my second book, this is an iffy book, okay? I could not decide if I liked it or not, but then by the end I really did. So it's Homestretch by Graham Norton. I got this in Asda just because it looked good. And I was like, Graham Norton's funny guy, so surely his books are going to be good. Like, I love his TV show, so why not? It's based in the 1987 small Irish town, and there's a car accident, and basically loads of people die. Connor is one of the only survivors, and so he leaves his small town because he can't deal with what's happened during the crash and how everything's played out. And then so it's him trying to deal with his regrets and everything. From the blurb, I got the idea that it was going to be based in 1987 and a couple of years after that, and it was all going to be from Connor's point of view, whereas it does change point of view, which I wasn't expecting. Did kind of make it weird a little bit. And one thing that I really wasn't expecting was the really long timeline. It's like 30 odd years, the timeline. It goes from 1987 to 2019, which really messed with my head because you don't get that it's going to be that type of book from the blurb. So yeah, the first half of it was kind of boring. Not really anything happened, and yeah, and then it all kind of kicked off in the second half. Everything you thought you knew was not what you knew. Everything just, like, every single time you flipped the page, it was like, this has changed, and this has changed, oh, I've just found this out, oh my word. So the point of views in it are Connor, his sister Ellen, and Ellen's son. There's odd points of some other people as well, but they're not like the main ones. That those three would be the main three. So I really preferred Ellen's point of view. So I think her side of the story was more exciting, I guess. Yeah, hers was definitely more exciting, and hers was kind of the chapter that everything happened in. Like, everything got tied together and stuff in whenever it was her chapters, whereas in the other chapters it was kind of like left up to the imagination. It did take a while to get into, but once you got into it and it kind of like sped up a bit, I can only assume like the first half of it was like kind of like a basis for the rest of the story, and that's why it was quite long and boring. And then once you kind of got familiar with where everyone was, it was all shook up and it was good. So yeah, I would recommend this book. It was definitely really interesting, hard to get into, but once you get into it, it's pretty decent. So if you watched my last one, you'll also know that I started the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I finished it this month. So I read Siege and Storm first, because that's the order, and then Ruin and Rising. I would definitely put this one, the third one, again, above the second one. Oh my word, can you hear that rain? Oops. Yeah, there was the so this one, it kind of was a bit boring and stuff in the middle. I did have to persevere quite a bit, but oh my word, the final battle chapter, the last 100 pages in this book was just, so many things happened, so many things you weren't expecting. Leah Bardugo is really good at like just having so many plot twists so randomly. Like, as I said it before, it's like, what was I said before? I can't remember. Yeah, it's like a horror movie, like it's a jump scare, like you know something's gonna happen but it freaks you out whenever it happens. That's literally how she writes. So yeah, it follows on from Elena. Sorry, it's been a while since I've read this. I need to like refresh my memory. Yeah, Elena is, yeah, she goes back to, yes, I remember this now, I remember this now. Nicola is in this one part. This is the one that everyone like simps over. Sorry, I don't understand. I don't know. But I do like him as a character. I do. So yeah, it's her and him, and they're just trying to get the darkening again. Okay, and then we moved on to the last one, which is Ruin and Rising. This whole book, like nothing could be faulted. Every single thing was like a twist, and people died. You didn't expect to die, and the people that survived, I was not expecting to survive. I was like, no, you should definitely be dead. That happened to you, you should definitely be dead. I did get one of my predictions right for this. I'm also not going to tell you, but I predicted loads of things and only got one of them right. So that's how unpredictable these books are. Yeah, I really liked this one. The ending was weird, but in this book you can tell how it relates to the King of Scars and Rule of Wolves duology, which is the second duology in the series. So I'm really excited to read the other ones, so I'm very excited to continue this on. I have got the Six of Crows books, I'm literally looking at them right now, so I'll be going on to them next. Thanks, Eva. Okay, so I can't really talk much about this book because I'm doing a whole other video on what I thought on it. But it's called Aristotle and Dante Discover the Secrets of the Universe. Based in the 1980s, Aristotle and Dante are two teens. They first meet, they have nothing in common, but start spending time together and develop a special friendship. I can't wink. I'm not sure about it, I'm really not. Okay, so this brings me on to the sixth. This brings me on to the sixth and final book. It is in my last, what's the opposite of number one? Last place. It's in last place because it is awful. It is actually awful. Okay, it's As Far As You'll Take Me by Phil Stamper, and if you know, I read one of his books last month. It was meh, it was alright. Nice story, but wasn't what you expected it to be. Once again, this. Now, as you can see, it's a very thin book, okay? So, it's short, you could read it in like a day or two. Okay, if you feel a bit your head too, you probably read it in less time, but okay. So it's about Marty, who's from America, and he decides to take a one-way ticket to London to escape his family and his old life and start a new life, because back home in America he lives in like a very homophobic town and stuff, so he wants to get away from that, which is why he moves here, but he doesn't tell anyone that he's moving here. It's a whole big plan and gets found out and everything, and it's about kind of like a romance with him and somebody in England, but it's so unrealistic, like incredibly unrealistic. I don't like the author's writing style at all. The author tries to include like big, tough issues in the book. That rain is so loud. He tries to include like really big and tough topics, like there's disordered eating, there's almost coercion, obviously there's homophobia from religious belief, there's unwanted outing, that you out a person and they don't want you to do that, like that, put them in danger and stuff. So yeah, the author tries to put all these big topics into this book, but the book's very small, so he doesn't develop them well, which is what I really, really hate. Like, if you're going to talk about those things, at least go into them in depth and like actually do them properly. Don't just like kind of filter them in unrealistically and filter them out. Like the timeline is like 6 weeks in this, but so much happens. I'm like, oh, it makes me mad. It actually makes me mad, this book, how awful it is and just how bad the writing style is, and that the author just, oh, it's such a shit. I'm selling it on my Depot, so if anyone wants to buy it, it's a great read. Yeah, so that, I kind of went on a rant there at the end. I swear, if the author ever finds this, I'm actually... But yeah, that was kind of a rant about some of them. We're just going to look at this book again because it's so pretty. Okay, I can't even say much about it, but it's so pretty, and I absolutely love Shepherd and Penelope and Simon and Baz. It's like Harry Potter, but for adults. It's great, it's absolutely great. Harry Potter for adults, that's literally how it's been. Although to be fair, Harry Potter should have been a teen book anyway. The last 2 books, the absolute state of them. Seriously, don't even get me started on why they should not be children's books. The first book, perfectly fine. After like Prisoner of Azkaban, they're not children's books at all. But that's for another time. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed that rant. I literally just rant all the time. If you liked the video, please like, subscribe, share, comment. Do it all, thank you. And I will see you next time.